I do have a question though, because in the online it said something about Virginia recycles spent nuclear fuel in Virginia. What was that about?
That was the presentation at the beginning by Tom Bill.
Okay, is that something that we are doing now, or is that something we want to do?
It's a proposal.
It's a proposal. Okay, interesting. I'm sure you got all that? Okay, I might have questions later with that. I did want to mention that obviously there is a lot of movement with a lot of monies to try to help the industry at large, just simply because it's not economical. I know that Lyman, with the Union of Concerned Scientists, says one of the biggest issues right now is the nuclear industry is pushing for less regulations and actually less inspections. And I find that quite alarming because there's consensus within the scientific community that as these reactors age, we are going to see possibly more issues, and so less regulations or less inspections is going to be a really bad idea. I mean, if the industry is going to do itself in, it's going to take out a whole bunch of other people if we decide we're not going to do more inspections and really stay on top of it. Just like this morning, just to kind of give you an example of what's basically seen on a regular basis. Sorry, give me just a second. Yeah. This pop-up stuff's killing me. Okay. There's at least 6 events reported today on the NRC website. 2 at processing facilities, uranium fuel fabrication. That one's in Tennessee. There was an unplanned contamination event. Browns Ferry, unanalyzed condition due to lightning strike. And it actually locked out people where they couldn't get into the places to actually where they could manually control things. So I thought that was really, and that affected all three reactors. Then you also had at the North Carolina uranium fuel fabrication, there was a off-site notification due to waste treatment lagoon discharge into the soil. So there was a mishap there. And we have Oconee in South Carolina, fitness of duty reporting involving a contract supervisor. That's an ongoing problem with this industry, is we've always seems to be having problems with drug and alcohol, not necessarily the supervisors, but people that are in contact with the facilities or doing work. And you have Grand Gulf, and where is that? Is that Minnesota or no, Mississippi? Primary containment, airlock door, not fully seated position. That's one of those things that happens on a regular basis. And then you got Palo Verde in New Mexico, no, I'm sorry, Arizona. Main steam line radiation monitor, communication failure. I've been watching this for years. So I can just tell you there's a lot of similarities and a lot of similar situations of things that are constantly either breaking down or problems. And either they're not fully being addressed, like, hey, we've been having this problem 10 times, maybe we need to look at it. But it's constant. And if we don't, and if the nuclear industry and the NRC, if they are going to do less regulations, less inspections, something's going to slip by. And unfortunately, when it deals with nuclear, it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be really ugly. So I'm a concerned citizen, mother, grandmother, and I live here. I don't know about this whole recycling spent nuclear fuel in Virginia. This kind of sends up a hair on end, but we're going to probably have to do, NRC says spent nuclear fuel can stay on site for whatever. And it's going to be a long time before any repositories ever developed. My concern is, like many, especially in California where they've been having meetings, is when they misloaded one of the canisters, and it was very close to it falling all the way down, but it caught on the edge. A mishap could be very bad. So I think this industry really needs to focus on, obviously the education, because I'm not sure who's going to be there in the long run, but the canisters need to be a lot better. I think everything I'm reading on the canisters, we need to put more into them because it's going to have to hold the fuel for a long time. And then we need to make sure that we do more inspections, not less inspections. Here in Virginia, Dominion in particular, I've watched year after year where they move forward inspections because, high radiation, it's going to cost too much. That's just wrong because these plants are old and they're getting older. So it's been shown in other studies that the reactor vessel itself is developing little fissures, and the NRC wants to play Russian roulette with this industry, saying, those take a long time to develop. Yeah, but when they do, and when it does, it's going to be catastrophic. So I don't think that we should be playing games here with stuff that's really, really dangerous, really, really toxic, and I don't even know what could happen here in our state. I mean, downtown, both Surrey and North Anna encompass the whole downtown capital region. We're all in the 50-mile radius, and then still the whole thing with potassium iodide, nobody has any. Not even up in Louisa or down in Surrey. Everybody's just twiddling their thumbs, not saying that that's going to help the other contaminants and poisons that come out of a disaster, but not even the simplest of fixes anyone has, and everybody's twiddling their thumbs. I'm concerned. So I'll listen to the presentation that David, I'm so glad, taped. But you guys need to really look at what we have and making sure that it's safe. Because mark my word, it's not going to be too long from now. Something's going to happen if we take our eye off the ball and do less inspections, because there's going to be something that's going to happen. We didn't think of that scenario. And I know David Lockbaum's retired. Lyman there is the Union of Concerned Scientists. They are watchdogs. And I've been at many meetings, the Blue Ribbon Commission stuff, where, they don't say that nuclear power is a bad thing, but they want safe. But I'm hearing Lyman, more coming out of Lyman right now, with the worries of this industry and the track it's on. That bothers me. So thank you for your time. Focus on better storage and safety.